Welcome to the first installment of the Hudson Valley Paranormal Minute. I am Dr. C.S. Matthews, otherwise known as Professor Wham, and I've been studying paranormal reports and experiences for over 40 years. I've lived in the mid-Hudson Valley for 11 years, and in that short time have been privileged to meet some of the excellent people here who are conducting their own research into reports of high strangeness. This Facebook page, Hudson Valley Paranormal Central, grew out of my 4 years of working as a freelance journalist for the Examiner. Now it's called Axios. It was bought out on their paranormal and human interest page. Now, I intend the page, Hudson Valley Paranormal Central, solely as a networking organ where experiencers and researchers might find each other. I make no money from this research, even though I have published some information about it. Those of us who do the real research, we don't make any money. I have another job, a couple jobs actually, that I make my living on. I don't make it off of paranormal reports. I offer my services of networking and investigation free of charge. Finally, I have developed a little bit of expertise and have the time and present resources to spend a bit more time here. As Providence wills and I am able. Now today what I decided to do, is report on the sudden rash of Bigfoot sightings that have been coming in from several different locations in the mid-Hudson Valley since really May, although they have picked up in late June and July into August. Now, many of these reports are currently being collected by Gail Beatty of the Bigfoot researchers of the Hudson Valley, and it is from her materials that I've drawn the following details. There have been a number of reports that have come from in and around the Blue Mountain Park area in Peekskill, and these are a couple of photos that were taken by Gail and or her research companion. She has a couple of people that she takes with her on these little jaunts. And these were found while investigating other possible sightings. What we have here on the left is an interesting shelter that seems to have been made by something or someone. And on the right, what appears to be a large footprint of some size. There's another photo of a footprint that she includes that's actually measured. The photo itself is not as clear, which is part of the reason I didn't include this, but this footprint appears to be at least 13 to 14 inches in length. There have been other odd experiences with some horses at an undisclosed location in Orange County, New York. Undisclosed because the owner of that property does not want her position to be disclosed. Since at least June, several individuals have reported a variety of strange experiences in the Peekskill area, including large primate-like creatures moving through local woods and unexplained disturbances. One of these unexplained disturbances has occurred at a horse stable where the animals suddenly began bolting rather than shelter in a stable with which they were familiar. Now, the woman who owns this horse stable also noted that in the morning, some of the horses' manes contained these strange little braids and twists, one of which is pictured here. Now, these kinds of braids can be formed if the animals roll around on the ground, but the horses were stabled in such a manner that they didn't have room to do that in their stalls, and these braids were not present when they were stabled the night before. Furthermore, the animals were anxious to get out of their stalls the next morning in a manner that was unusual for them. A quick perusal of the surrounding woods revealed these interesting structures. This is probably the best photo of one of these that I saw, that appeared to be woven together in a manner inconsistent with twigs and sticks having just fallen together. In fact, there's a number of different photos of these. I picked the one that was the clearest, and they appear to be woven together in an interesting way. They actually, to me, they look similar to the kinds of woven fences that indigenous peoples once used around the Hudson Valley, and that actually differ significantly from colonial rail fences. Apparently, also at this particular location, there have been some unusual animal deaths, and there have been sightings of a large, dark, primate-like creature moving around at the edge of the woods close to where the horse shed is. So there are a lot of different reports coming out of this particular area. Now, one of the most extensive accounts, and the account that has probably gotten the most attention, has come out of Hyde Park, where several individuals have reported hearing, smelling, and seeing something very unusual. Gail has uploaded a number of video and audio offerings about these accounts on her Facebook page, which is the Bigfoot Researchers of the Hudson Valley. Now, on the left here is a picture of an interesting structure that Gail and one of her researchers, Chris, found in the woods near the reports. Many of these reports are off of Roosevelt Road. And there's also here a print copy on the right of one of the reports that was given to Gail. So you can, as you watch this video, you can just sort of read it. Now, what is interesting about this report is that it was picked up by several local news stations, including a couple that serve the New York City area, and was also featured on Coast to Coast. Now, according to Gail, there have been reported sightings or encounters with a Bigfoot-like creature since May of this year, including a hiker in Putnam County whose experience made the local news there, and the link of which Gail does include on her site, to new reports coming out of Woodstock, 3 separate road crossing incidences in New Paltz, and then again in Hyde Park, and a site that Gail has investigated several times in Saugerties, where the landowners there are reporting new activity. Now, taken separately, no one of these accounts is definitive in any way, but the fact that they are all occurring in widely divergent places among witnesses who do not know each other has to be regarded as significant. Now, in several of these instances, the reporting individuals were unaware that Bigfoot was something that one might expect in New York. So that is significant as well. Now, this is a map that I created last year in conjunction with the book I published about the range and history of paranormal experiences and report in the Hudson Valley. And so when we look at or talk about the present accounts, they are occurring really right within this area here. So they are occurring right in, for the most part, an area that has been widely known for Bigfoot reports in the past. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, my book featured on the left is a survey of reports including ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, and other strange and interesting phenomena that has informed the lives of humans since they arrived here. I begin with the Lenape, who arrived in the Hudson Valley at least 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. And these reports continue with the European colonists all the way up to the present day. To the right is one of Gail's stickers that you can get from her. And again, you can find her on Facebook at Bigfoot Researchers of the Hudson Valley. That's where she posts all of the most recent research stuff that she's been doing, and you can actually get information to reach her there as well if you want to directly report something to her. If you want to contact me directly, you can contact me at the Hudson Valley Paranormal Facebook page or at Professor Wham, #1 at gmail.com. That's Professor Wham and then the #1 at gmail.com. And I will be happy to converse with you. Thanks. Hopefully I'll be able to do this on a semi-regular basis, and eventually we'll get a little bit more professional. but we start where we start. And welcome to all of you new members. Just in the last month, I have had a slew of members join the page, probably more than in the last 3 or 4 years combined. And I would like to make the page more active. So if you want to post things, if you have events, if you're an investigator and you want to post things, if you have questions, whatever you want. I don't want the page to be a debating page because as far as I'm concerned, there's more than enough room for there to be lots of opinions. So there's absolutely no reason for us to go off on any weird tangents. This is a time for information and communication. So that's what I want the page to be. But welcome, and I hope to be meeting with some of you at some point.